After the angels had left them and returned to heaven, the shepherds said to one another, "Come, let us go straight to Bethlehem and see this thing that has happened, which the Lord has made known to us." They hurried off and found Mary and Joseph and the baby lying in the manger. When they saw the child, they related what they had been told about him, and all who heard were astonished at what the shepherds said. But Mary treasured up all these things and pondered over them. The shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for what they had heard and seen. It had all happened as they had been told. I'm not ready to let go of Christmas. Not just yet, anyway. There are still more mince pies to eat, and there's that brandy sauce at the back of the fridge, which I think will go very nicely with the Christmas pudding in the cupboard. And I have to say that I don't really have the energy or the inclination to take down all those Christmas decorations. Not right now, anyway. The Christmas trees still look very nice, and those lights that I hung around the garage outside are still bright and sparkling. I don't want to go into the garage to find the stepladder, to take down those lights just now. Not for a little while yet, anyway. Never mind having to pack away everything into boxes, including the trees, and then having to climb up the loft ladder into the loft to put everything away for another year. And I still haven't run out of Christmas carols to sing. I reckon there's still a week or two left where we can sing carols and remind ourselves of Christmas. Of course, we are still in the Christmas season, and if I was being pedantic, although it is true, we could carry on celebrating Christmas, singing carols, pulling Christmas crackers, right through to Candlemas on the 2nd of February. But you know that already, because I've said it 1,000 times. And in the world of retail, we recognise that Christmas ends on Christmas Day. But in the Christian realm, Christmas in fact begins on Christmas Day. So let's not be too hasty in putting everything away and getting back to what we might call normality, whatever that means. As the new year begins, we can still picture the baby in the manger. We can carry on thinking about the angels and Mary and Joseph, along with the wise men, or the magi, or whatever you want to call them, and the shepherds. All part of this wonderful narrative of Christmas. The shepherds were told the good news that the Christ child was born and that they would find him in a stable. So the Christmas story remains important and captures our imagination still, even though now we are 2,000 years away from those events. But then, in the Bible, bit by bit, very gradually, things begin to change. Things move on. Just after the reading that I read to you earlier, we are told that Jesus was circumcised. 8 days passed, and in accordance with tradition and custom and teaching, the baby Jesus was presented in the temple and circumcised. Suddenly, we are brought up sharp, and everything gets rooted in time and space. The angels move on, the shepherds go back to tending their sheep, and the wise men return home. Mary and Joseph are still very much part of this story, but gradually you sense that both of them, especially Joseph, begins to move away from the center stage, and Jesus becomes more prominent. Mary is glimpsed at key points through the Gospels, but Joseph, well, we don't hear much more about Joseph. Certainly not after Jesus is dedicated in the temple, which is what we mark as Candlemas. And no longer is Jesus the tiny baby in the manger, with the shepherds and the angels and wise men and Mary and Joseph, as well as the sheep and the cows and goodness knows what other animals standing by. Things change, things move on, and now the baby is circumcised. He begins to grow and in time becomes a man. Things change, things move on. And we change and move on as well. And a new year begins. Who knows what will happen over the next 12 months? Who knows what twists and turns and ups and downs and positive as well as challenging experiences we will all face. We can't predict or guarantee precisely what will happen. We just don't know. But there are good things to say. I guess what I want to say is that whatever happens during this year, we can face these things together. As part of the human race, as the people of God, as people joined together in love and mutual concern. Let's not face the future alone, but let's learn to trust one another, to reach out to others and trust in the kindness and the compassion of friends and family. But also it is true that whatever happens, we can face things knowing that God is with us. Remember the beginning of John's Gospel in chapter 1. So the Word became flesh. He made his home among us, and we saw his glory, such glory as befits the Father's only Son, full of grace and truth. When the decorations are finally taken down, and the door into the loft is locked once more, God is still with us. When I balance precariously on the top of the step ladder, pulling down the outside lights, God is still with us. Nothing can change that. For the Word became flesh, became a human being. Jesus, the Word, made his home among us. His home. Some versions say Jesus dwelt among us, or he lived among us. I prefer that he made his home among us. He wasn't just passing through. He wasn't parachuted down from heaven for a short while. He considered us valuable enough, precious enough, to make his home among us. The Word, full of grace and truth. This world is his home. We are his home. Emmanuel, God with us. Life-giver, Word made flesh, Emmanuel, bearer of pain, bringer of hope, giver of grace. You have made your home here, deep within the cosmos and deep within my life. As this new year begins, help me to trust in you. Let me hold on to hope. Let me see your glory. And Lord, live in me. Amen.